Welcome to I Heart Geek. And welcome to another episode of I Heart Geek. Now, we're sorry that we didn't get up episode four because we had technical difficulties because Zoom. With that being said, none are going to happen today. So we're going to cover episodes 4 and 5 today. We have a lot of opinions. So let's go around the panel real quick. I'm Dub. I'm here with Christina. We're here with Ryan. We're here with Skeeter. And we're here with Griffin.
Hello there.
Now, I don't know. I'm going to assume that everybody hated episode 3, and let's just keep going with that. Now, how did episode 4 and 5, did it redeem, or are you still holding some grudges? Let's start with Ryan.
The first half of episode 4 is terrible. Second half redeems it.
So it's a climb.
Episode 5 is my favorite one so far.
Fair enough.
And it's not even close.
Okay. Christina, what about you?
Pretty much the same.
Okay. Skeeter.
So, yeah, I'm with Ryan. It definitely was the climbing the rope in gym class. Definitely the struggle at the beginning and pulled itself strong.
Like when he used to climb the rope in gym class. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. Griffin, what about you, bud?
I wish episode 5 was all the way in episode 2.
Okay.
Like place wise, because I wish the show would have. But I'm happy we got it. 4 was okay. I wouldn't call it redeeming because if it's episode, if you're at episode 5 and you're getting all these reactions, it's like, this is great, this is finally here. Then unfortunately, I think it speaks for itself. Which fair. I'm sad because I know I haven't been on this show before, but this is the show I've been looking forward to. Being a child of the prequels and stuff, yeah. I was really looking forward to this show. And A New Hope is my favorite Star Wars, so I was really looking forward to this.
That's fair. Now, me on the other hand, because 3 let me down so much. I mean, I feel like everything's going good, and then your parents took your candy from you, threw it on the ground, crushed it, and it takes a long time to build that trust back. I don't have it back. I'm getting there, but I don't have that trust back. I feel like I may have a new piece of candy, but there's a lot of crumbs on the floor that I'm still looking at, and I'm really upset by it. Yes, I'm a child. Now, one thing because I get to be the main voice, the first voice on here, so I got to say this. We were talking a few weeks ago, and everybody made me feel like an idiot and said I am absolutely crazy because I was talking about the voice for Darth Vader and how I'm like, it sounds like James Earl Jones, but it's got the cadence of Hayden Christensen, and it just doesn't sound right to me. And oh no, that's James Earl Jones. And then the next day I open up the internet and wow, it's a CGI voice with Hayden Christensen. So I will that tells me I'm right on everything. I'm not to doubt myself, and y'all are stupid. I'm just kidding. I love y'all. Oh. Okay, so I want to hit this first. I feel like it's kind of universal. The first half of episode 4 was kind of a letdown. Before it starts getting exciting on episode 4, let me hear what your guys' thoughts. What was wrong with it, and what could have been better? Let's start with wait on Ryan. Let's start with Skeeter on that one.
You know what? I'm going to defer to Griffin on this one because I kind of put certain things. You put certain things out of your mind.
Fair enough.
And yesterday we got to watch 4, and that's so fresh. But I'm not, I'll let
5.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Griff.
I'll let Griff go first.
Oh, on 4 or 5?
4. So what went wrong in that first half, or did it to you?
4. Like it was going somewhere. In the first, I liked the opening scene where they're carrying Obi-Wan and he's like tripping out and they put him in the back there. I'm like, this is it. Everybody's talking about flashbacks. I wanted flashbacks too, but like I didn't want the whole show to be flashbacks, unlike like a lot of people. But like I wanted it, and I was like, this is it. They're both going to be in the back to tanks, and they're both going to be just going through it. This is going to be full character study. It's going to be great. And then he comes out not even a minute later, and he's like, where's Leia? And I'm like, which I love, for the record. I love Leia. I love the actor. I love her job, what she's doing. The writing is, I wish they would have, in episode 3, they would have sent off that storyline and she would have gone back.
That's smart, actually, right there.
Sorry, I didn't even think about it. No, but like, I expected them to like wrap up that storyline.
Yeah.
Earlier, that way we can go more into like Invader. But how he came out and he's like, "Where's Leia?" I was like, "Oh no!" Like I said, I love the actress. I loved her storyline up to this point, and I think she does a great job in the story. But I feel like they kind of dragged it out.
Well, since you mentioned the little girl Leia thing, especially this is with both the episodes together, something I'm noticing, if she is with a great actor like McGregor or with Tala, she's fantastic with those people. When she's with Reva, when she's with herself, when she's with douchebag from Portlandia, whatever his name is, she is terrible. And I say I blame that on age and all that, but she needs someone to work off of, and when she does, she rises to the occasion.
Yeah.
When she's alone and when she has weaker partners, I think that's a lot of the problem we're seeing with people that don't like Leia. She's fantastic when she's fantastic, and she's not when she's not. And that's kind of my issue on that one.
Yeah. Well, personally, just to like wrap that up for myself, like, for the record, I think when I watch her, I feel like I'm watching Leia at 10 years old. I feel like I'm watching Carrie Fisher's character at 10 years old. And that, for me, that was like the most important, and it's really cool.
Fair enough. What about you, Christina?
I'm going to say the same. I didn't like there was too much back and forth in that first area. And you can definitely tell when she is playing to the camera. And so I was already prepared to have a repeat of episode 3 initially. And then, of course, it absolutely surprised us.
Yeah.
In a delightful way.
Okay, Ryan. Taking the leash off. Go.
Right. So, when she's being asked to do a type of acting she's not like ready for yet.
Yeah.
So she's sitting there, she's trying to act with the camera.
And that's bad directing. Sorry. That's being a bad director.
You're putting her in a position she's not ready to be in as an actress. You're asking her to learn how to act with the camera or act with Reva. And she totally, like you said, she rises to the occasion when the other actor has taken it to a level. She has no problem. She has no problem playing up to that level. She's like like one of those, you don't know what to think of them sports teams that when they play the best competition, they're at the best competition. When they play like the worst team in the league, why are they playing like the worst team in the league? So when she's playing a situation she doesn't need to be in, she's playing down to the camera. I thought it was really poor directing, poor writing to put her put her on the spot. It didn't do anything for the story. It just was, all it was a tension creator.
Yeah.
And really through the first half of the episode, it's the dialogue and the ability to act through voice.
It's slow
by Obi-Wan and by Tala. That's really carrying you through that episode, because the structure of it is a kid who's put on the spot in something that nobody wants to watch because she looks uncomfortable. And then you have the way it's being shot is like an introductory level on a video game where you're supposed to sneak around. You're doing a bad job at it because you don't know the mechanics of it. That's all it felt like.
Matches the energy of whoever she's playing against. So if she's against weak energy, that's what we're getting.
Exactly. And that's not, I think that's the only time I felt like Leia was not being portrayed as Leia. Leia is usually the strongest character in the room, whether or not she's 10 years old or she's 30.
Yeah.
And they put her in a position to be the weakest person in the room. That wasn't the right decision.
Yeah, that is a bad directing, bad writing. And this is part of, the issue we're seeing with Obi-Wan is we have the head writer that said she hasn't even watched all of the Star Wars movies. No.
It's
And
disappointing.
It shows. And this, we've had this discussion before. And, respect the material if you're going to do the material for people that would die to do this material. Yeah. So that's part of I don't have respect for the writer at this point, and I don't have respect for the director for letting that happen, because it's obvious to unseasoned people like ourselves that's the problem. So that's the bad part. Let's talk about when it starts getting good, and then we'll get on to 4 as well. 5, sorry. Once we got the sneaking, the second he pulls out the lightsaber, I'm in 100%. I'm good. Life is grand. What did you guys think about the upturn on 4? Start with you, Christina.
Well, one of the things for me is I was concerned about the new CGI with the lightsabers. I was afraid it was going to take me out, and it didn't. Seeing the shadowing on the lights and things like that, I know this is a technical thing, but I absolutely loved how realistic it felt. I do think that we needed a stronger battle scene, but it was getting there. And I was like, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, Ryan, what about you, bud?
All it takes to save an episode is have Reva leave the room. She left and things pick up. So it's every time so far, the second you take the camera off Moses Brown, whatever her name is, it just saves the episode.
Yeah.
Moses Ingram or whatever her name is. It saves the episode immediately. And I'm at this point, I'm growing tired of you have a tension creating scene, but let's create more tension with a slow object moving towards a character. That's played out at this point. Stop doing it.
And again, we're not ripping on the character or the actress, because she's been in other things,
writing,
and she's been fantastic.
It's not her; it's the writing.
I would put that on the direction as well, because the way the delivery, it just isn't right.
She's doing the best job she can do.
No, we're not harping on that. It's not.
Yeah.
Once we get over to episode 5, I'll clarify what I mean. But that writing for Reva is much better in the next episode than it is here.
Yes.
So I think it's a lot more to do with the writing. I think they've done her a disservice. They backed her into a corner.
Yeah.
And now, not just does she have to write her way out of it, she's having to act. Or do they have to write their way out of the corner? She has to act her way out of the corner, and that's not fair to her. That left her. That is really where she ended up being susceptible to what she's dealt with on Twitter.
Yeah,
is because she got backed into a corner of being portrayed as a bad actress, and that got other things tied to it.
And I think it's safe to assume that if they didn't even watch most of the actual Star Wars movies, they definitely didn't watch the series, so they have no idea.
They didn't watch Rebels.
All of the Inquisitors are terrible in this,
except for the first Inquisitor,
the Grand Inquisitor.
The Grand Inquisitor,
which we'll get back to that soon.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, excitement on that one.
Just a little.
Made me happy. Okay, is there anything else? Oh, one thing that I'm very glad they did. Give me 1 second, Skeeter. I'll give it to you 1 second. One thing that they did. Thank God they made that stupid little Lola into something interesting instead of being a dumb toy pet. I'm like, wow, okay, there's a purpose for it being here. I'm in. And suddenly I forgive it now.
So now I can get a Lola and he won't dog on me.
Oh, I still will. What'd you have to say, Skeeter? It's like batteries not included. If you guys have ever seen that movie, that's what the stupid thing looks like.
So, dude, we gonna jump right over it. We're just gonna jump right out of the hallway, the Hall of Presidents.
Okay, go ahead. The Easter eggs we saw now. Honestly, I didn't bring it up.
But
There's only one that I've seen.
I want to go back before that.
Okay.
O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character, his wife, we find out that she was a Jedi, and they make a big point of showing 2 women in that kind of, I don't know if they're encased in something or what, but then you walk into the very, very kind of purposeful camera shot over the left shoulder. When we hear the scream, we look to the left, camera over the left shoulder to a very familiar, bald, African-American Jedi who I firmly believe was strong enough to recover from his Sith Lord flat spin and was probably found somewhere in the system, and that's where he's at.
Well, they found Reva in a ditch after she'd been, so it's possible. I don't know if it is or not, or if that's just hopeful thinking. Now, however, I think that they missed an opportunity for some fan service here. If they could have been in Carbonite, that would have been better fan service than this amber thing they're putting in. We're not watching Jurassic Park. We're in Star Wars land now. I feel like that they missed an opportunity on there to. I'm not all about everything's got to be fan service, but I think that's a big deal. We haven't seen Carbonite since Empire.
Return.
Return's last time we saw Carbonite. We haven't seen it any place else. I think that would have been a nice little fan service. And it could have looked really cool with all the graves everywhere. Because they could add even more in there, and they could have brought in more Jedi that we wanted to see from the series without crapping up all the canon and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Just I guess. Okay. So
I had to throw it out there.
Yeah. No, that's outstanding. Let's talk about the episode 5. Now, I will say this: my first viewing of episode 5, emotionally, it hits the right levels. I'm happy. Second viewing, I'm finding issues. Third viewing, I'm kind of like, okay, it's okay. This episode, as much as you like it, relies 100% upon emotion. There's a lot of holes in here. There's a lot of issues in here. I'm not going to sit here and crap on it. There's like 2 things I really want to hit. But let me hear what you guys didn't like about episode 5. Let's start with Griffin on this one.
Well, I think, I think the episode obviously, is the best one so far. I think everybody can agree to that. Obviously the flashback was a smart place to go. I didn't think they would go all the way back and before Clone Wars. I was really expecting them to do the whole fan service thing, which is what I wanted, but the whole Clone Wars armor and stuff like that with them. But nonetheless, I think they did that scene great. I liked seeing Hayden back and show more Vader and Anakin than just him swinging around a lightsaber killing Tusken Raiders. Can I
hit one thing on that?
Yeah.
Now that actually, as cool as it was to see, I think it wore out its welcome. They had 5 cutaways to that. They could have been done in 3 very, very comfortably, and you'd be left wanting more. I feel like by the end of it, you're just kind of like, okay, fast forward. I really want to see another one. The first part, the middle part, when he's losing, and the third part at the end. Those are the only important ones. And I apologize, I'm not meaning to, but that's one of those things that really screwed up the pacing. And is it just me, or does Hayden Christensen look older than Ewan McGregor by like 20 years now?
Yes.
I mean, wow, he did not age well. Okay, sorry. Keep going, Griffin.
Yeah, no, I mean there's already deep fakes online where they de-aged him.
They could have done that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think when it comes to at least the beginning and in the flashback, I feel like they landed it. I mean, it was good. I really appreciated his thinking, because I'm a big fan of the Clone Wars that saved the prequels for me. And the fact that we see Anakin trying to think logically and be technical with the fight against Obi-Wan, I really like that, because we see that all with Vader. And it's like in the prequels, Anakin in the Clone Wars, he's like the hero you always hear about in the stories. He's the tactician. He's like this super smart, skilled Jedi. But then in the prequels, it skips over that. You never get to see it. And so in this, I felt like it was really cool when they were talking about, as they were fighting, talking about why Anakin's more aggressive and then why Obi-Wan is more reserved and more defensive and offensive. I really like that part. But
I say, I think that worked great. It's just it went
too much.
I didn't want more.
No, they should have made the scenes longer, like the flashback scenes longer.
Yeah, I don't think the duration was the issue.
Yeah,
no,
it was the length.
It was
it
was
how many
the
times
placement,
the amount,
the placement. Yeah. But besides that, I really like the character studies with them. I really like the emotion. This show did, unfortunately, I know this is a broad statement, but I'll say it since it makes sense in this. I was really afraid that they would not use Vader because Hayden was such a part of the press in this show, and I really thought it was going to be a duel. Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be about Obi-Wan, but Anakin is so much a part of Obi-Wan's story. Yeah. So I really was hoping that Vader wouldn't be a start an episode and a bookend of an episode. I really was hoping he would be as much. Like, take Riva's nothing against the actress or the character, but like I thought he was going to have that screen time, and the fact that they're kind of now, I was like, I really hope, you can ask my dad, I really hope that they're not going to just pick him up in episode 5 and then episode 6 they're going to do the battle and then that's it.
Let's save the duel for later though. But I know you want to hit the duel, but let's save that for a little bit later. Skeeter, let me get your thoughts on this real quick.
I liked everything about. I really did. I really liked a lot of the stuff about episode 5. They did really well. I definitely said something to Griffin while we watched about Hayden's age. Because he looked old, like, and that kind of took a piece. And then I go back to the failure of episode 3 because, like somebody had mentioned, the droid dragging Obi-Wan away, but Darth Vader could pull down a freaking
that's
Star Cruiser back to Earth and then disintegrate it. Like, I'm having major issues with a lot of things. So, but yeah,
it was deliberate. So it makes sense because it was deliberate. Like, and we see that at the end of episode 5. Like, he could have very easily destroyed him right then and there. He chose not to.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the thing that is so powerful that for me is that at this point we are actually seeing Vader making very deliberate choices.
Yeah, he's actually, this episode, I really feel like he's more Vader than we've seen since the Holy Trinity. He's holding himself with that gravitas that he needs to carry himself with. Again, not with the movement, not until that fight, which we'll get to. But I'm just, the way he walks and everything is still not where I want it, but I'm a lot happier with it.
I'm glad that you bring that up because I noticed something in episode 4 when we got kind of a close up. And if you look at Vader, New Hope, old Vader, we see his neck was longer. So, and his whole body was longer, it seemed like in the originals. So it's almost like Hayden doesn't have that room to really turn, because there's times when Vader's talking and he's finger wagging and his head, he's got a lot of movement in his head.
Yeah.
And there's none of that. Like, there's no room for this to do this. He's walking with new robot legs, new robot arms. I mean,
yeah. Now, as Ryan will tell you a million times, it's not even Hayden Christensen that's in the Vader suit. It's two stuntmen.
There's 2 different stunt doubles.
It's just stunt guys, which is actually, that's kind of disappointing because I'm like, why did they bring Hayden back then? That's fair
for what we just saw.
Yeah.
5.
Okay, so what about you? What's your thoughts on episode 5?
Oh gosh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I do agree that we didn't need so many cutaways, and just for that brief moment, when I saw how old Hayden looked, it did take me out, and then it just brought me right back in. There's so many powerful moments. There's so many emotional moments in this that I don't think I'll ever get callous to. But then also, I've only watched it once because I'm on vacation, so I didn't get to watch it and
Digest it.
digest it, dissect it. I didn't get to be Dub.
Okay, Ryan, go ahead.
All right, so right, for the flashback thing, I don't have any problem with the duration of the flashback. I do wish it was like once at the beginning, once in the middle, and once at the end. And he's talking about how how Obi-Wan would play or back Anakin into a corner and make him make the wrong decision. And I wish it cut immediately to him making the wrong decision. There was a couple minutes before that. It was like it was a really short time frame, but it should have been immediate.
Yeah.
The second he loses the lightsaber is the second they get away, and then it cuts out. But it's very much like it's what we didn't get to see with the prequels. The relationship for Anakin and Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars is so different because Anakin is so talented and Obi-Wan allows him to use those talents. In the prequels, the whole time, it's all about Obi-Wan always suppressing what Anakin's able to do. And that's part of the way the trilogy's set up, but it's not the right way. The thing that I'm glad about is Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. Say what you want about Hayden Christensen's acting. The choreography they have
was great.
Dueling is unmatched across the entire series Star Wars has. Anything they put out there, not a single pair matches even half of what the two of them do on screen. So I was really appreciative that we got that put right in front of us in the middle of it, because we're going to get it at the end. But for us to get peak dueling again, we don't see that anywhere else, and you're not supposed to see it in the newer stuff like the Jedi Order's Fallen. The skills of the Jedi and the skills of the Sith are not what they once were.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to finally get that's really what I wanted out of this show. Was I wanted that high level dueling, because you don't see it anywhere else other than in like the animated stuff.
Well, let me jump in. Let me jump in on for a second. As good as that fight scene was, I liked Vader and Reva's fight better. That was everything that I wanted to see. I loved it. That to me hit me on the emotional levels. It may not have been technically as perfect, but the way that Vader toyed with her the entire time, it felt like this is Vader. She stands about a 1% chance. I love it. This is great. That one to me, it hit me. And I'd say the choreography is definitely better on the other one.
I think the choreography has to be better on the other one because the two of them are supposed to be very talented. Yeah, they're both masters. Reva's not a master. She's not a Sith Lord.
She wasn't even a Padawan.
Right, exactly. So there's a mismatch in skill, and that's there. But it is great for the story.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have loved to see like the Clone Wars armor, but there's so much they let Anakin do in the Clone Wars that like we haven't gotten to see. And that the other benefit to this show, and we start seeing it really here, is not just Obi-Wan playing Anakin still, even though he's Vader, he's still playing Anakin like he's Anakin, because we have a perfect like in between. Vader has the viciousness that Vader has in the original trilogy, but he has the brashness and the decision making that Anakin had.
Yeah.
So in the original trilogy, Vader's much more calculated, way more calculated. There is not a single misstep to what he does.
Yeah.
There's a lot of emotion behind what Anakin chose to do, and here he'll choose to let him get away just to play with him.
Well, and I think too, the battle between the two of them was not. There was not intent there, like they were practicing per se, whereas the battle between Reva and Vader, that was more tension,
that was real.
That was deadly,
it felt real.
That was real.
Yeah
So
now, if you don't mind, I want to hit two things that took me out of the entire movie or TV show episodes. First one was the restrictor bolt on Lola. First off, that was a spring, not a bolt. Remember this, the hard time that Luke, who works with machinery all the time, had getting the restrictor bolt off of R2. It took a screwdriver and some prying. Pink, okay, I'm better now. That took me out in a big way. And the other thing that took me out in a big way is the return of, I'll never remember his name, Haja. I hate this character.
I thought he was. I hate that character. I thought he was more tolerable here.
Oh, he was worse.
Dude, I absolutely rail against him. Like I actually, like, it didn't take me too far out. The second I saw him, I was dreading what was going to happen. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, Christina heard me cussing when he came on it, because I'm like, he took me I've been out. I'm like, okay, I'm watching a TV show again.
That's how I've been. One of these is I felt like it was okay. Maybe if I watch it a second, third time over like that, I'll probably get upset. But
he is absolutely Sigourney Weaver in Galaxy Quest. Like, that's what I see him as. I've got one job and it's stupid, but I'm gonna do it. Because
I'm gonna do it as stupid as anybody.
Right, yeah. But it's like, how's Leia doing? Leia, how you doing? Like, it took me out. Absolutely. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, he feels like they dropped a Spaceballs character in Star Wars.
It's not good. Okay, Griffin, is there anything that took you out that you didn't like?
Anything I didn't like? I didn't like how they took so long. I think I'll say this unpopular opinion amongst the community right now, but I really felt like they dropped the ball with Reva's character. My favorite event in Star Wars is Order 66, like ever. I feel like that's like one of the pinnacle. Obviously, it is one of the pinnacle moments in Star Wars. But for me, I love seeing, I love witnessing new perspectives, and they've done like so many now. But I really feel like they should have gotten to her role sooner. Yeah. And I really liked the connection she had with Obi in this episode. And he was like, we all know that even Obi-Wan's not gonna let her go and like kill Vader, because he knows she's way out of his league. Like, but at least he's supporting her and he's like helping her, and he's being like, look, like you got brought into this.
Or is he being a butt, like, you know what? I'll let you go do it.
Well, yeah, because he knows she's not gonna win.
She doesn't say in a prayer.
She was a pawn. She was absolutely a pawn for Obi-Wan. Means from point A to point B, because Leia was more important.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. But I think that I liked her story in the grand scheme of it, but they took way too long to get it. They took way too long to get. They hinted at it, but you gotta like make room. I really wanted them to make room for Vader and Obi-Wan, not just the last episode. I don't
want them together at all. And I'll get to one other part on that. I don't want either. I do not want to see them together. It has destroyed so much canon as it is that they've been this close. No, absolutely not. It makes me physically angry.
I will say
it's wrong. No. Okay.
So, Dub, tell us what you really think.
I'm not cussing, so I can't.
I will say I will say A New Hope is my favorite movie. So everyone would think when they announced this show, I would have been on the side of like, oh, they automatically ruin it now, because like if you don't like the fact that they retcon that line in the movie where he's like, the last we met, I was the master, or you were the master and I was with the learner, then you're not going to like the show at all. You can't like the show if you're mad. But I was like, okay, they're going to do this. I hope they do it in a way that'll, it won't like taint it. But like, yeah, they're kind of, I'm not going to lie. The fact that it took them to episode 5 to start like getting a good emotion out of me, I'm like, oh no.
Skeeter, you got anything on that, bud?
So, the thing that kind of pulled me out was Was it Tala? Is that her name? No.
Uh-huh.
When she gets shot, I get it.
Almost
could have.
I disagree.
We could have pulled her out, but she could have thrown that freaking that hand grenade. I feel like she had more story, but it's okay. You know, that didn't pull me all the way out as much as the fact that, I mean, of course, what's his name with Leia? How you doing? Yeah, he's just Phil. I mean, that's all that guy is, literally. Because he said it again. He was like, "Great money making opportunities here."
It's like
I'm gonna go.
Suck, yeah.
So, and then the final was, did Obi-Wan use Reva as a pawn? He sure did. He did. But at the same time, like, he was all, I can feel your hate. I can feel your anger. And this is going to be your opportunity. Like, let's set him up. Let's bring him out and see what you can do. But he knew farewell. This dude was wrecking him.
Yeah.
So she didn't stand a chance. Unless he fell asleep or like his batteries went dead or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Forgot to charge it.
Oh my gosh.
Now to me, there was two huge high points and one more moment that I'm going to be angry about later. These two high points was, I think, the death of Talia. They made her a hero going out, and I was proud of every second of her. I was like, this is awesome. That's what I want to see in Star Wars. I'm connected to this character enough that it hurts when they die, but I'm glad that they went out like that. That made me happy.
Well,
she's a hero character who didn't overstay her welcome.
Exactly,
so it's like
she could have.
It's like they learned from the people who had to sacrifice themselves in Rogue One. There's a lot of hero characters who we lost very early in that movie or like halfway through, and her death feels meaningful here.
Yes.
If she dies at the end or survives the rest of the show, she feels less meaningful.
I wanted her just to hang around a little bit more. Like, I think
what else are you looking
for?
What else are you looking for out of her? She went toe to toe with Reva. She goes out in the blaze of glory. She
saved everybody.
She ushers them out to safety. I mean, she did her character arc is probably the most satisfying thing thus far.
Especially because she told her story. She told why she joined. When she talks about how she didn't know what the Inquisitors were going to do and how she had these people to make up for her. And this was it was, breathtakingly, achingly beautiful. I guess
like Obi lost his because the order was still around. The Jedi Order was still good when he lost his original love interest back on Mandalore in the Clone Wars. But this could have been something different, and but that's not what I'm looking for.
I don't want to see a love interest. I don't at all.
No. I think that as she was on her path to redemption, she reminded him of who he was. He is
totally.
She is so critical to his redemption, and I think she knew at this point she had done that.
Yeah.
I think that she knew that against all odds, Obi-Wan and Leia had to make it, and so she made that ultimate final sacrifice
from the point she entered onto the screen.
She serves as a sign of what the resistance is willing to lose, as what the rebels are willing to lose, and the sacrifice it's going to take to get to where they need to get to.
And tell me that doesn't make an impact on Leia. I mean, that is important character development right there.
Tala's character is totally imprinted on Leia. I mean, we went over that with episode 3. The high point of that episode is really showing Leia what she'll end up becoming, what she'll end up leading.
And what a brilliant actress to play Tala.
And when she saw when you saw like on Leia, her whole body language, everything, when she asked Sobi at the on the transport, and he has to tell her, like, you could see that pain
without ever having to, without them doing it on camera. You felt it, and it was good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one other thing I want to hit, and this is something that made me, this was one of my biggest complaints in, I think, the first or second episode, was the Grand Inquisitor. And then when he comes back, and I'm like, oh yes, I love. There's something about this character, the speech pattern. You can disagree all you want.
episode 2 better.
It does.
It makes it more tolerable knowing that he wasn't just off so quickly.
No, I love this character. I want to watch a full miniseries with him. I mean, I love this. Yeah.
To me, I think it still is. They've got a long way to go with the last 3 episodes, but they have to fix what they've done with the Inquisitors. The Inquisitors are supposed to be absolutely terrifying to deal with.
Do we have 3 episodes? I thought we only had 1 episode left.
Do we only have the 1 episode left?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, they were talking about giving
and now
us
Ryan's
a second
sad.
season.
Yes,
yeah, of course. I'm always sad about this.
Go ahead, Griffin. Disagree, bud.
This is unpopular opinion. I don't.
Then you're
like
wrong.
Rebels.
I'm just kidding.
I don't like Rebels. But I really hope that in that end of the second episode, I was so excited because she plunged the saber through him, and I'm like, they're retconning Rebels. And no, he walked up. I was like, okay, yeah, no, they're not.
But undeniably, it shows exactly how calculating Vader was, and I think that was like, there's the Vader I know, like that very deliberate, like, look, chick, like, I can't say the other word.
He called her a youngling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a real.
That was like
move there.
Damn. It was harsh, but it was good. Now, here's one thing that I'm mad about that hasn't happened yet. This next episode is the way it's setting up. I don't want to see Leia and Luke on the same planet. I don't want to see them near each other, and they're going to set it up so in passing they're going to meet. No, absolutely not. It's going to. It's going to. I will be so. I will be
already hit.
So
they've
mad.
Already hit all the deals.
Yeah,
I don't understand why they're bringing Luke. That confused me. I'll go back. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that
why
confused me when Reva was like sitting there and she found the communicator. I'm like, is she going to die? And then like she saw the message, and then it cut to Luke. I'm like,
so she's gonna be the
episode.
Yeah.
Luke, okay.
Storylines, and plus we have the battle that we all know we're gonna get. That's gonna level the galaxy. Like,
yeah, I know.
So I'm gonna be
That's
dead
where
honest.
I'm feeling like there needs to be 3 episodes more.
I'm gonna throw a shout out to my boy Isaac, who is a faithful listener, and a Star Wars freakazoid. He literally, we were talking while I was making pancakes for a men's breakfast, and he was like, so Leia bends over and sends a video in R2 that says, Obi-Wan, you served my father.
Yeah,
we talked about
like
that
she's reintroducing herself, but dude, they are spending an awful lot of time together right now. How would you forget that? Also, you delivered her to her dad or her adopted father. Like
she could get a memory wipe. They could all get a memory wipe. That exists as a possibility.
They might as well call it a freaking multiverse at this point. It doesn't matter what we do. Memory wipe. Come on.
So something bad.
Well, it worked in Men in Black.
It's the flashy thingy.
Flashy thingy.
Oh, vomit.
I'm and he brought up the point. He's like, something's got to happen to where he either forgets or I don't know.
Yeah, we talked about that on the episode that Zoom crashed for us. And that, yes, but the thing is, the memory wipe is actually a Sith power. It's not a Jedi power.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Reva uses it.
That's what I'm wondering, if Reva's not the one that uses it or something, because it's not a Jedi power. or even
But
Obi-Wan.
she's not a Jedi or a Sith.
But even if Obi goes
She's
to
a hood
that
rat.
side briefly, oh good lord,
She's a street rat. I don't buy
Yeah,
that.
but
I'm sorry.
how
If only
can
they'd
you
look closer. Would they see a poor girl? No, siree. They'd find
I
out.
don't
There's
think
so much more to see. Sorry, go
you
ahead.
can't really memory wipe any of them and make it make sense. Like
No, you can't. I don't know how they're
you
going to do
can't
it.
memory wipe Obi-Wan because
But
how is he going to
again,
remember what he's doing? You can't memory wipe Leia because then how is she going to
remember Talia.
observe, remember
But
Tala
she's-
in
but
the
to be
path and
honest,
everything? Like, yeah.
This could be something different because she's never found a friend like Obi.
Never had a friend like her. Sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
No more Aladdin.
Or
No more.
no more Aladdin, no more Toy Story.
or they're trying to, or maybe they're trying to make that message seem a little bit more mysterious than it
Yeah.
actually was.
If
So,
they pull it off.
or more disguised.
But
because
again,
if,
this goes back to our writers that don't watch freaking Star Wars.
yeah, it's just, you can't solve that issue.
And to admit that, I'm sorry, it's an unforgivable sin. Yeah, it's frustrating.
She did finish up in that article saying like any of the answers that she didn't have in the moment were like one email away.
Somebody told me.
Yeah, someone tells you, hey, no, you should be forced to watch all of this.
Like, I will tell you what, sit in with our panel and we'll get you there.
I'm not even saying you need to have a 5-minute conversation or watch it. You need to have like notebooks of notes
and
to reflect back on.
You need to have love for it. That's all I ask.
Every single piece of Star Wars media that is on Disney Plus right now is canon, which means all of that plays. Mm-hmm. It plays, it matters. Whether or not you've watched the Clone Wars or Rebels or Resistance, or that all plays. It's all on the same playing field as the original trilogy, the prequels,
yes.
Whatever they did in the 2010s, whatever you want to call that mess. It's all part of it. They should have seen everything. They should know everything. They should know how to call back to all of that material. But it's strange that they're just allowed to not.
Okay, so let's do this real quick. I have one question, your grades, and then we're out of here. So I want to know, do you think you're going to be satisfied by next week, by the finale? And what did you grade this at? Let's start with Christina, and then she got to go do something real quick.
I'm hopeful for episode 6. I'm absolutely hopeful for episode 6. They have to do it right. This is one shot to fix all the bad. And I still will always love Obi-Wan my whole life. But right now it's sitting at last time I gave it, like, it would drop to a C. I'm going to put it back up to like a C+. And I'm hopeful that we're going to get at least a B out of this.
Very good. Let's go with Ryan. I'm going to take over the screen.
All right. So I would have said the first half of episode 4, I'd give a C-, and the second half of episode 4, I'd give it a B. This episode, this one for me, so far it's the best episode. So I have to give it an A because I gave the first 2 episode thing an A-. I'll give this one an A.
Wow.
There is no way they're going to resolve all of this in one episode.
Yeah.
So there's no way it's going to live up to what I want, unless they're giving us a second season, which I don't. It seems up in the air whether or not they're going to. I'm not sure if they can do it well enough.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to solve what I want solved or portray it in a way that I want it portrayed. But it's still Star Wars, so I'm still happy about it.
Okay. No, I just want to speak on that episode 2 or second season. If they did it, the only way I want it is I don't want to see Luke. I don't want to see Leia. I want to see Obi-Wan doing like Doctor Who stuff, going out and just kind of.
Well, that's what this whole thing should have been.
Yeah, this should have had nothing.
This shouldn't have had anything to do with the.
And then it could be why he was such an all-knowing, awesome, wise Jedi at the end. But okay,
exactly.
Griffin, do you have hope? And what's your grade?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, my grades, episode 4, I'd have to say like a C-. Yeah, it like picked up a little bit with the action, but then there was still like still some things that didn't make sense. How
Yeah.
they all just kind of ran out of there at the end with the coat and disguise, you know, like it didn't like do it for me. But the episode 5 hit the marks. I mean, when is it Tala?
Yeah.
Yeah, like her death, I was tearing up. I was like, wow, this is cinema. This is great. I love this. It was perfect. Uh, I the emotional elements, like even though I've been looking forward to the things like the flashbacks, I felt like it was fine in this episode, but I feel like all the things that haven't been working worked in this episode. Like oddly, like it's been all the things that I haven't cared about in the show, like it worked, and then they obviously wrapped them up. But I would give it an A. I really think episode 5 is good. Do I have hope? Yeah, I mean I have hope.
Do you have a new hope?
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't help
You know, I do have hope. You know, we've been surprised before. I mean, we have one more episode to turn it around. I mean, I won't lie. I am disappointed a little bit just because this is my favorite time period is between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope is my favorite in the Star Wars realm in the timeline. It's my favorite because there's so much we don't know. And I was really looking forward to the show just to tie up everything and make the universe more connected. Growing up, it was like watching the prequels. It felt like you were watching a completely different, like,
world.
Canon. Yeah, world. It didn't feel like Star Wars, even though they were. And the great thing about these shows, like the Mando, is like, it's tying it together now that I'm like, this is amazing. This is great. But I was really looking forward to this show, exploring a lot of things. Qui-Gon Jinn, let's face it, we're going to get a little bookend. We might hear his voice, but might even not.
He might have a particular set of skills.
There you go. It's not taking too long, but like those are the things that it's like you should have spent time exploring in the show. You should have spent a little more time with Obi-Wan trying to be more of a master in that aspect and figure out, you know, everybody's like, why is he so like in A New Hope? It's like he forgot everything, you know, he's just kind of like, oh no, he didn't forget everything. He's just playing dumb. He's just like little one, you know, but he knows what's up. I really do praise the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I think they did really good. But besides that, I really hope it turns up. I mean, I hope we get a good episode, you know, but I think as far as the series goes, the fact that we have one more episode left and it's like, man, we hope it's kind of a letdown. I'm not going to lie. I was really looking forward to it. I was really looking forward to the show.
Skeeter, what about you, bud?
So it couldn't pull itself out. You know, there were some definitely some good parts. I mean, look, they had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything they ever wanted in one moment. Would they capture it? Nope, they let it slip.
Stop!
I had to do it. But
how long have you been practicing?
Is it Mom Spaghetti?
Yes. It is. So I'm literally I'm going with it's a B.
That's fair.
And I think that's where it's gonna land. I really, like Ryan said, they need 2, if not 3.
Yeah.
To answer a lot of questions. So if they're gonna pack it in, it better be at least a 2-hour episode to close it all up, but I know it's not. So
the second they flash to Luke, and it's like that's a perfect midway point.
That's one of those.
Get equal time with both.
Or don't give
both of the kids.
Okay.
Like, well, if you're going to give them screen time, I want equal time with both. But now
I mean, if we get a season 2, it's going to be Old Ben. Before Old Ben, we meet him again in the desert. So I don't know.
We'll see. Now my hope for this series is on where do I think it's going to be at? Let's say since there's only one episode left, I think the series is Goose and the ending is the windshield or the canopy, and I think that's you're gonna have to let it go, sir. I don't think I'm gonna be happy at the end of it, to be completely honest. I want to. I have a slim amount of hope, but we'll see. I would give this episode, it's climbing its way back up. I give it a B-. So after episode 3, which was a C-. So I think that's definitely an improvement. Yeah, we'll catch y'all next week. This has been a jam-packed episode. I'm here with Ryan. We're here with Skeeter. We're here with Griffin and Christina, who went to the other room. And whoa, that was creepy, man. Yeah. And we will see you all next week. Until next time, go to the website, www.iheartgeekshow.com. Use the we paid X for it. Go to the Facebook, all that other stuff. Keep on geeking on, guys. See you next time.
You have been listening to the latest episode of the iHeart Geek Show. Make sure you visit our website at www.iheartgeekshow.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you check us out on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep on geeking on to all of you geek rock stars.